Thank you, Brett. And we are learning more today about the wildfire recovery meeting held by the House Special Committee yesterday. Lawmakers in the Oregon legislature got to hear firsthand from 2020 wildfire survivors about how the recovery process is working and how it is not working. Southern Oregon Representatives Lily Morgan and Pam Marsh are part of that committee that held the meeting yesterday, where they heard about the challenges that survivors across the state are still facing when it comes to rebuilding their homes, communities, and lives.
Overall, fire survivors and their allies here are feeling exhausted and worn out from the trauma of the fire and then the subsequent trauma of living in temporary housing for a year and a half with no end in sight. We really need more mental health supports. Even with the free counseling sessions we offer through our network, fire survivors at our meetups, they regularly express ongoing pain and suffering.
She also praised the state and Oregon representatives for the work that they have already done to help fire survivors and said she hopes everyone can work together to further help all the fire survivors here in the Rogue Valley. Now, during that meeting, representatives heard about the challenges survivors are still facing 2 years later. Today, we had the chance to speak with the Representative Pam Marsh about why hearing from survivors helps the state better prepare for the future disasters. Representative Marsh spoke about why it is important that the government officials hear directly from survivors.
And we just need to make sure that these communities have some support at the state level as they move forward. And we need to look at what happened in September 2020 and the way that the state responded, the programs we set up, and try to understand their applicability to future disasters, because although it's really horrible to contemplate, it is very likely that we will face situations similar to this in some way in the future. And it is imperative that we use the lessons that we learned around September 2020 in future situations. So continuing ongoing engagement of legislators is really a critical piece here, I think.
Representative Marsh also said that the Special House Committee understands that recovery is a long-term process and that they are still working on completely monitoring the lingering effects from the Alameda fire.